Welcome to the Rosa Talks Ball Podcast with me, Rosa Simpkin.
They said nobody cared about women's rugby, but guess what? We out here. We out here, fam. We're going nowhere. And straight down the ground, that is divine from Cross. Kate Cross on so many occasions has made a name for herself with the ball for England. Today at Bristol, it's with the bat.
Oh, and the tune is through here, and the tune for England! Oh, yes! What a goal!
Hello and welcome back to the Rosa Talks Ball Podcast with me, Rosa Simpkin. On today's episode, I am delighted to be joined by Fox's leadership duo, Captain Rebecca Brooker and Head Coach Stephen Franklin. I joined Rebecca and Stephen at the Fox's 2025 Media Day as the Tier 2 side gears up for their first season in the brand new Project Darwin system. Project Darwin is the ECB's project to hand the professional women's game back to the 18 major counties, following 5 seasons in a regional format. Following a bidding process, the 18 counties were split into 2 tiers. Tier 1 consists of 8 fully professional sides, whilst Tier 2 hosts the remaining 10. This episode, you will hear Rebecca and Stephen's thoughts surrounding the new system, as well as their hopes for Leicestershire in 2025. Now then, before we get started, if you have any queries, you can contact me on contact@rosatalksball@gmail.com. On social media, you can find me through the @rosatalksball. And please do check out my website, rosatalksball.wordpress.com, for all the latest word on women's sport. As always, all of these details are in the description. To start with, you'll hear from Captain Rebecca Brooker, followed by Head Coach Stephen Franklin.
So then, let's get started.
So, first of all, how does it feel to be leading Leicestershire in this transitional stage for women's cricket, and how do you handle the pressure surrounding the role?
I'm super excited. I think it's a real privilege to be in the position I'm in, and I've sort of played county cricket since I was about 13, and you can kind of see the changes and the being able to have a bit more of a platform now. I think there was a period where county cricket was kind of not existing anymore, and when the regional stuff took off, so I think to see it come full circle and have this kind of opportunity at county level is massive and something that I'm really excited for.
And then looking ahead to the season, you've got a lot of fresh faces combined with some real experience. What are your goals as a unit for the season?
Yeah, I think obviously it's a little bit uncertain in terms of the opposition we're going to play against. So I think we really want to push and try win some silverware, but we also need to have that time to get to know each other as a group and how we work on the pitch. So I think, yes, we want to push, but I think it's also about sort of having that time to really gel as a squad.
What do you think the new Tier 2 setup means for women's cricket now and also domestic cricket as a whole? And where do you see Leicestershire fitting into that picture?
Oh, I think it's huge. As I said before, I think to see county cricket being given a platform, I think it gives a real sort of opportunity for those who are perhaps just outside of the professional game. People like myself and a few of our players here, where it gives us a sort of platform and I guess gives the young girls someone to look up to. I think growing up, you didn't really have that other than the England women's team. So it's like, oh, I want to be the Charlotte Edwards. I remember as a young captain, I always wanted to be like Charlotte Edwards. So I think having a bit more localised sort of presence as a female team is going to be huge, and I think in the future we're really going to reap the rewards at a higher level internationally from getting this sort of opportunity lower down the pathway. So yeah, big thing for me is getting as many girls into cricket because it's given me so much. I've met some of my best mates and I've had some really cool opportunities, and I'm going to continue to do that. So as many people who can sort of get involved in the game young, so keen for that.
And then how significant is it for you that you're playing all your home games here at the Upton Steel County Ground?
Yeah, it's great. I think we train here and having a real sense of belonging and a bit of a home, because obviously we play it some over the years, we've played at some fantastic club grounds, but I think having a real sort of base, it helps you feel like you belong, which I think is huge in terms of the team and getting the best out of us. So yeah, it's great, and hopefully we can get some people down to fill some seats in summer.
Why should the girls and women of Leicestershire come out to watch you play?
Yeah, I think when I was growing up, for example, you would be really excited about going to watch England women, and they were the only sort of professional team. But I guess having various counties at a higher level now, there's way more accessibility, and you don't have to travel up and down the country following England anymore. You can get behind your local team, and I guess we would hope the local people would want to support their local team. So yeah, if as many young girls and women can come and watch us, we'd love to see that, and hopefully can meet a few people in summer.
And then finally, what are your personal goals for the 2025 season?
Personally, I'd love to set up the team with some scores. I think leading from the front in terms of scoring some runs and setting up some totals, match-winning totals, that would be key for me as a batter. As a captain, I think staying true to my own philosophy around belief. I think obviously with a bit of uncertainty around who we're going to be playing against, and you have like Yorkshire who are fairly professional, I think the key for me is to try and really encourage that self-belief, because anything can happen in cricket, and just because there's like contracts and things like that doesn't mean that you're out of the game. So I think facing every opportunity as a challenge, rather than something to be fearful of, is something I'm really keen to push, and hopefully that'll bring out the best in the group, hopefully.
Perfect, thank you. So first of all, you have significant experience in the women's game, and also significant experience here at Leicestershire. How has it been for you watching this transition towards complete professionalism, and how does it feel to be a part of it?
Yeah, very exciting, very privileged. When I first started, we didn't have enough girls to play cricket. We were making teams up of sisters of brothers that played, or friends that played netball or hockey. You know, so, you're sporty, could play cricket, and so they were making their cricket debut in a county game. And then now, you know, we're having 66 players trial at under 18s. Our women's team, we've gone through sort of 88 players this year. They've expressed that interest of playing. So it's been quite hectic, but really exciting that many players want to play cricket and are playing cricket. Yeah, if I look back now on those years and thought, you know, our team's going to walk out Headingley, playing on professional grounds, you know, having press days like this, that's normally just been the thing that the men's teams do, actually to be part of that is really exciting.
And then building on that, what new challenges arise from this new Tier 2 model from your point of view as a coach, and also from the point of view of your players?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing would be sort of the logistics. So we're used to just picking teams of who we want and where we want them, and now there's certain criteria that they have to have, so the medical cover, which is brilliant from the player's point of view, and the science stuff that goes into that, but make sure they've got all the right screening and all the qualification in terms of the anti-doping and all the online modules they have to do. They have to do that first, but also, you know, the insurance that costs money, so the club's got to work out what budget we've got, so we can't just have a big squad of sort of 25 players like we've had. So just make sure that we're on top of all those logistic bits is important. But yeah, from the players' point of view, just the fact that they're going to have brand new kit with their names on it, you know, they're going to have 2 different styles of kit. Normally they just get 1 shirt for the season. Now they've got 2 different styles. Being on team buses, you know, we're going to hotels. You know, we've never stayed in a hotel other than at a finals day. So just little things like that you know, you take for granted in sort of the men's game, completely different for the women's game. The challenge is still going to be, they're still amateurs, so they've got to balance. Some of them are working, some of them are at uni, some of them are at college. So trying to get all that balance right to make sure they're still able to train. We can't just train during the day when we want to, you know, we've got to work around where the players can do that. But that's the other exciting bit about being full-time, is I can now say to a player, well, when can you train? And we'll work around the player as well. So really, really excited for the player as well.
And then what do you think the new Tier 2 setup and Tier 1 setup means for the future of women's domestic cricket, and where do you think Leicester should fit into that picture?
Yeah, obviously we wanted to be Tier 1, you know, all counties bid for that. Looking back at it now, you know, it wouldn't have been our team, really. You know, a lot of the Leicestershire players wouldn't have been able to play. We've had to make some tough decisions on some of our players that, unfortunately, we've not been able to offer anything to this year. but it just allows more people to consider cricket being a career for them. And hopefully, when they see more on TV, a simple thing, I looked yesterday and we're on BBC Sport in terms of a fixture, and it's something that's quite really small, but actually the fact that you see Leicestershire Foxes women's team on BBC Sport as a fixture ready to happen is something that, the players wouldn't have had that before. And then, we know for the next 4 years we're going to be tier 2. We want to be pushing towards tier 1 and hopefully be in a position where we want to challenge and push tier 1 teams. But if that can't happen, then we just want our players to be playing the highest standard they can. And ultimately, if 2 or 3 of our players end up signing professional contracts with a tier 1 team, we know that we've played a small part in their journey. And yes, we'd love that to be here at Grace Road, but as long as they're sort of realising their dreams, then that's what we want.
And then we're a beautiful backdrop.
Yeah,
of
beautiful. Quite dry for once.
Yeah, it is. How significant is it for you and the players that your side get to play their cricket here this season?
Yeah, brilliant. So we tried to play here quite a few years ago, and we were told by a player or a person at the club at the time it would be like £2,000 for them to host the game, and it's like that's the whole budget for the year and more. And then a few years ago we had the same question, and it was like, yep, you can play here. So we've started to play sort of double headers here for the last couple of years, and that's been the nice thing that the club has seen that as not just because we're going into the tier system and trying to go look what we want to do. Actually, we made that decision 2 or 3 years ago before the tier system was even muted. So now then say all but one home game is going to be here at Grace Road, it generally does feel like the home. We've been really welcomed by everybody down here. The coaching staff are always asking me how the players are going, anything they can help with. Obviously, Claude Henderson's directed cricket across both men and women, and I've moved into that office now, so we're all in the same sort of office, so that's been the exciting bit. But yeah, the changing rooms, it is going to be their changing rooms, so it's going to be their space. We're going to have their names and little pictures up for them. So just having that space, rather than just being, we're only here for 1 game a year, actually we're here for, it is our home.
And then looking ahead to 2025, what are your goals as a playing unit for the season?
Obviously you want to win, so I've got a chief executive saying he wants trophies and wants to win. I've got a director of cricket saying it's not about winning, it's about creating that right culture. And then the chief executive said, look, where do you think you're going to come? I was like, the challenge at the moment, we don't know what teams we're going to play against. We know the names, and in the past we know what a Derbyshire team would look like and what a Northants team would look like. We know we've got some brand new players that are coming into our team, so the teams are a little bit mixed. It's going to be difficult to know on which day who you can play. But as long as we're sort of creating the right culture and the environment to start with and set this project up, we know we're going to make mistakes. We're not going to get it right from ball one, but sort of over the next 2 or 3 years, we're looking to lay some foundations and sort of going, right, this is where we want our team to go. So yeah, as long as we're sort of performing consistently on the pitch, creating that team unity and getting that sort of culture right, and that togetherness and wanting to be there and sort of playing that sort of brand of cricket that we want, that's sort of going to be our stepping stones. And if we do that, then hopefully the results will look after itself.
And then finally, why should girls and women in Leicestershire come out to watch your team play here this season?
I think it's that big thing of it could be for anybody out there. All of these players that are going to play out there had that dream when they were a little girl that they wanted to go and play cricket, and they wanted to go and play at big grounds but never thought they could. And now they've got the opportunity, like I said, to go out and test match grounds at Headingley and professional grounds at Canterbury and New Road. So to see that as a realise your dream, but actually come in and speak to players, and that's one thing we're really keen to do, is actually showcase the women's game and go, this is a game for everybody. And we want to make sure that our players are seen as role models, but actually people that can connect with them. So the more people come out and support, see what it's about, hopefully we can inspire more girls to play and get more people playing the game over a long period.
They said nobody cared about women's rugby, but guess what? We out here. We out here, fam. We're going nowhere.
And straight down the ground, that is divine from Cross. Kate Cross on so many occasions has made a name for herself with the ball for England. Today at Bristol, it's with the bat.
Oh, and a tune is through here, and a tune for England!